But I'm not going to go any further into that. That's all in the past. It's all done. I learned my lesson. Let's just move on.
All right, moving on. Copy that, Captain. Moving on to this new segment that we're going to throw in. A little last second, but I really thought this was a good idea, and this is something that I think we could probably do every single week because, you know, when you're sitting down and watching football, you'll, especially, and you're looking at our scope, our lens here, you see a guy wearing something, and you're like, man, that looks really good from head to toe, cleats, gloves, helmets, everything like that. So this is what we're going to call it, just Look of the Week. And first off, Look of the Week, we're going to go with Devin's Look of the Week. Devin, who did you pick for your go-to guy this week?
All right, guys. So my Look of the Week is a guy I've been a huge fan of looks-wise for several years. He's been on 3 different teams. DeAndre Carter. This guy, every single week, puts it on, and nobody ever talks about it. Let's just quickly go through the setup because it's all good. It's all clean. So first up, this is a pregame photo. So take that into consideration. But up first, we have Riddell Speedflex with the OBJ-style face mask for the Speedflex. We have what appears to be either a 20% Oakley visor or their mirror visor. It's kind of tough to tell.
Looks mirrored to me.
Then, it looks mirrored. And it's pregame, so I assume he's bringing out some extra flair for pregame. And then he's got the black, baggy-ish arm sleeves, gray gloves, which is one of my favorite looks ever. I think gray gloves are so cool. Early in the 2000s, everybody wore gray gloves, and it was fire. And so it's always cool to see. You've got the baggy long sleeve. I think he has custom thigh pads. Kind of tough to tell. And then Chrome Hearts, custom painted Nike Vapor Carbon Elite 2014. It's one of the best cleats of all time with some cool custom work. Head to toe, this is fire. There's not a single thing I would change about this setup. Also, one unique thing about DeAndre Carter, he never buckles his left chin strap buckle. Ever. Huh. So you see it's unbuckled right now. It's always unbuckled.
Weird.
So, yeah, he's if you go, because he played for the Commanders, he played for the Chargers, you go to photos of those when he's on those teams, it's always unbuckled.
I've never noticed that before.
I mean, that's the thing. Nobody really talks about DeAndre Carter, but he has fire cleat game, fire helmet game, fire visor game. It all works so good. I love this dude. I don't know him personally.
I think it's because it's a role. He's a role player, so that's why no one really. Yeah, he's that kind of third guy in the offense.
Slot every once in a while. He caught a good amount of passes for the Chargers, but he's bounced around a lot of teams. He's mostly just a kick returner. But when it comes to drip, DeAndre Carter is up there in my top 5. I do not care.
Yeah,
it's just so clean.
He's great.
It's all so clean. And he's got the single digit. It's just fire. So yeah,
he's been wearing number 3 for a while, right?
I think he was number 1 with somebody.
You're probably right.
I can't. DeAndre Carter Chargers.
Well, speaking of number 1, my Look of the Week was none other than number 1 for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts himself. I went on about him a little bit last week with the turtleneck thing, but the Kelly Greens, he had an insane performance, 5 touchdowns in the Kelly Greens. He's got the Jordan 12, the custom Kelly Green Jordan 12s on right there. Nice little towel, black hand warmer, and then that awesome Jordan quarterback glove he's wearing on his left hand because, if you guys watched that game, it was soaking wet, and it was a pretty big factor. So everything he did head to toe was great. And obviously he's not wearing his visor like he usually does because it was raining. But that was my Look of the Week. I thought he nailed it. And I wanted to point out the cleats that he wore with this Kelly Green matchup. I like these ones more than those kind of the gray ones, the wolf gray 11s that he wore last time. Yeah, I thought
these
was a way better look.
Yeah. Those are my favorite he's worn so far.
Yeah, he pulled those out at the right time and got me. He pretty much single-handedly won me my fantasy week. So shout out Jalen Hurts.
Nice.
Sounds about right.
All right, I'm last.
Tony's last.
Mine. When I think Thanksgiving means Cowboys. Cowboys throwbacks. And so I went with the Cowboys. That's when we just said we're going to do this, I was like, oh, it's got to be someone on the Cowboys. I was thinking Micah Parsons, all this kind of stuff. But I was looking, I was like, you know what? It's got to be Dak. And the reason it's got to be Dak is his look is always super clean as far as he goes with the clear visor, gray tabs, throwback helmet. He always does the slightly baggy, not baggy, but rolled up a little bit with the wristbands.
Rolled up, yep.
Yeah.
And then with his look, obviously, I wanted to focus on the Jordan 1s he wore for this. And so he's got like a super nice pair. Obviously, he's a Jordan guy, so he's got the Jordan 1s here. Super nice with the navy, with the white. And it's like, it's got that throwback feel that matches the uniforms because they're like, just original, like really cool feeling. And then also a little touch that like clearly was done on purpose. Obviously, here's the cleats. He has the alpha plate on it because that's standard on these Jordan 1s. But pre-game, he came out in a matching pair of turfed versions of the same Jordan 1s, identical, except this like clear blue is like we had this on the Jordan 12 turf versions last year. And so he came out in a turf version of identical cleats, uppers, I guess, for pregame. So like real attention to detail stuff.
Yeah, that's commitment to wear the exact same shoe version of the cleat you're about to put on just for pregame.
Yeah. Dude, that's the joy of being a Jordan athlete, man. They get these cleats, and then they also get the turf version, so they can do, what Dak Prescott just did. So cool.
Yeah. Let's look at the week. Can't wait to see what you guys bring next week. I'm gonna keep my eyes a little more peeled this week. I'm gonna see if I can get someone maybe low profile as my look of the week for next week, because we all had like, I like what Devin did. Devin went with DeAndre Carter, and that's kind of a, like you said, it was an undercard name, if you will. So I'm gonna see if I can do that for next week when we pull out look of the week. But yeah, can't wait to see what you guys bring out for next week. Moving on in the pod, just like we always do, we got to keep things rolling along here. We've got our Q&A. We're